Good day, I'm Carl, this is Studio In Car. This is Barry's Taycan Turbo GT. What a thing. Right, I've come over here because you can probably still hear them now, but the printers are going full swing. Do electric cars sound better than normal cars? That's the question. Normal combustion engine cars with that noisy old engine. It's kind of a yes and no. You know, these have a lot in their corner. They're silent effectively when they're being driven. You know, you get a little bit of tyre roar, but as long as the car's damped, they're quite silent. Stable voltage. Stable voltage is a massive deal for any form of sound reproduction kit, be that hi-fi, car audio, and anything. Stable voltage, linear power supplies, they're all there. You know, a really big deal for end sound. And you won't really know that you can hear it until you do, and you won't want to go back, you know. They're less mechanically engaging to drive. You know, you press the accelerator, it goes forward, you know. they're less sort of engaging to drive, so you can focus more in terms of your sound, you know. So there are plenty of good things about electric cars. There are plenty of things that we have to be careful of, you know. Current draw, really, are we going to install multiple Class A amplifiers in an electric car? Probably not. All right, as wonderful as it may sound, you know, when we're done with the job, you're going to massively affect your range, whereas Class D sort of sips away at current. Okay, it doesn't go crazy, so you'll hardly know it's there. You know, we've not done any post tests on this. It's not my car. I've test driven it, but I've not driven it to the extent of realizing differences in the range. But I would bet you it is single figures over a full charge, you know. Yeah, anyway, this system, Barry, has enabled us to have the car for slightly longer. I wanted to learn the Taycan, we wanted to learn it and hear any differences from our usual Porsche platform stuff. We wanted to take that in, learn it, design it, print anything we needed to print. There's a fair bit of CAD gone into this installation. Being afforded that extra time is crazy valuable as well. So yeah, thank you for that. So what have we fitted in this car? We've installed an Audison SR5 and an SR4. We've got a good three-way active front end in this. We're using the Morel Carbon Elate Alto tweeter in here on a nice custom pillar build there on axis with the driver. We've got the MW4 mid-range, and then we've got the Uni 8 mid-bass for its sensitivity that is particularly spec'd. There are a lot of pre-designed systems, especially systems designed to be attached to BOSE cars, BOSE Porsche cars, out there that just will not work. The speaker design is just, it's just not right, okay? Doesn't make the speaker a bad speaker, it just means that you're trying to get it to do things that just don't line up with its parameters. We've got a 10-inch Wavtech Thin Pro 2 ohm, so that's running off the 5-channel as well in a custom enclosure. And you've possibly already seen in my intro, there's a fair bit of fabrication gone into this. Again, just thorough system design. What the Taycan allows us is a fair bit more space in the Porsche platform than the 911 does and the Cayman and things like that. So it's been a pleasure to have that space, have the time to sort of stretch our legs a little bit and just get it looking perfect. You know, factory panels go back over the top, so you don't really need to see anything. Of course, the subwoofer grille protrudes, but I will say to anyone, beat that grill up. That's what it's meant for, all right? If you need to stack something on it, stack something on it. Really doesn't matter. If it gets scuffed up and you're precious about the way it looks, we can replace that, all right? But a grill is there to be used, to be taken advantage of. Like I've said, this system's been spec'd with current draw in mind. It's a relatively light footprint. We have the Bit 1 HD in there as well underneath the amplifiers. of course feeding every input of the amplifiers actively so we can control all of the processing of the signal. And then we're digitally integrated in this car. This is another thing I wanted to do. I wanted to make sure that we can digitally integrate it. So we've got no ADDA on the line, it's just fully digital from the PCM straight through to our DSP, and then we get to cut that up, and it's a lovely sort of full range spectrum. There's no spikes in there at all. It actually sounds really nice. It's a really good sounding car now. It sounded miserable on the way in, and I know that that sounds cliche for me to say, you know, come here, we'll make it sound better. You just have to compare the two, really. You know, if Barry was more local, I would let everyone with a Taycan come and listen to this, be it BOSE, Burmester car, or whatever it may be, because this will, you know, destroy all of them. It sounds great. Anyway, let me show you around the car. I'm excited to show you this one. It's being collected later on, and I'm excited about the handover as well. Okay, it's just good through and through. Let's have a look. Let's have a look inside the car. Go around the driver's side so it lets me in. This will jump up now. Never gets old. Here we go. We're in. You might hear me struggling there because this is a big car, but they are small on the inside. These pillars that Jamie's made with the Morel, it's a Morel Alto tweeter. It's part of the Elate Carbon Pro line. They're just fantastic. He'll never admit it, but he absolutely loves making pillars. Make sure whenever you're looking at pillars or fabrication or from anywhere, just make sure you study them thoroughly in depth, all right? If they don't look perfect, just give us a shout instead. So yeah, doors, 4-layer deadening in there, mid-range and mid-bass is in there too, the Uni 8 and the MW4 from Morel. We have our DRC, which is underneath the center console. You probably won't, yeah, you can just see the bottom of it there, underneath that bridge. Now this interior is extremely pleasant. Everything's really modern and nice, and I don't want to ugly it up with any controller. Now I'm not saying the DRC MP is ugly, it doesn't fit in here, okay? It's like wearing a swimsuit with wellies. It just would look a little bit particular in here. I might try that actually. Yeah, so we've put it under there. Now a little bit of muscle memory is going to be needed for that controller to adjust the sub bass, bottom right, turn the knob. It's really easy to do once you've done it a handful of times. You don't need to see the controller, okay? It would be lovely if the Bit 1 HD could work with the DRC AC, the little round one, but it can't. It's not backwards compatible. Why? But it isn't. So yeah, we're with the DRC MP and we have tucked it away. So if it isn't obvious, and that's what we're going for, that is the Wavtech Thin Pro. That's a 10 in there in a custom enclosure. That enclosure goes all the way to the floor behind this hump. The top section is ours for the enclosure. The bottom section is OEM. Underneath the OEM trim here, we have our amplifier installation. Now, the camera's making the Alcantara look a little bit strange, but that is a Porsche match Alcantara. Where it says Turbo GT there is OEM, and our Alcantara is matched exactly. That is the SR4 and the Audison SR5, and underneath there is the Bit 1 HD. You've still got tons of storage in here. Obviously you still have the entire boot. You have all the pockets sort of left and right. You've got the front trunk load area. It's madness the amount of space that this thing has. It's wonderful. It took a while to do this because we wanted it in a particular way, asked for it for a little bit longer, and as I've said, Barry gave us that opportunity, so we've ran with it, and it's come out extremely well. I'm super happy with it. Sounds fantastic. I mean, that was a given anyway. We designed the system properly, we set the system up properly, but I'm really happy that the original plan that was in my mind, it is not deviated from it at all. It looks exactly how we had planned for it to look. Jamie's done a lot of the fabrication in here. I've done a lot of the fabrication in here. Like I say, there's been a lot of CAD design in here. Each speaker is on a different mount, different to say a 911. All of the amp surrounds and things like that. The amp standoffs that we've used to space them away from the floor. All of those have been designed, and we have that now. They're all in the archive, they're in the bank, we've got them so we can replicate that, and that's what a lot of this is about, is learning on the system. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed Barry's Taycan Turbo GT. It's a 2025 car, it's brand new. Handover later on today, and I always get a little bit nervous. I don't know why, because the car sounds incredible, the work's fantastic. Barry's a great guy. Shout out to Will and Charlie too. I know you're watching. Alright, I'm Carl for Studio in Car. Hope you've enjoyed the video. Take it easy.